Hi everyone, I've been playing Freedom Wars for a few weeks now since its release, and I wanted to do a review, but I thought I'm not going to do kind of a script. I just want to talk off the cuff and just kind of give you my thoughts on the game. And overall, I think from a gameplay perspective, it's great, but from a pacing and story perspective, it really lets the game down. Now, I played this on Vita, I platinumed the game, so I spent a lot of time with it on the Vita, but I got to admit, I completely forgot the story and how the pacing was set out. So when I started playing it again now on my PS5, it was really frustrating at times. So you've probably seen the trailers or know a little bit about kind of what the game is about, but essentially it's set thousands of years in the future. Every person is living in these underground cities called panopticons, and you've all got a 1,000,000-year sentence, a prison sentence, because of the resources needed to kind of keep you alive. And you need to complete missions and destroy these big creatures called abductors. And when you complete the missions, you get a reduction on your sentence. So that's the basic gist of the kind of game. And in the story, there's kind of a few other things happen. You meet some more individuals who are in the panopticon. You save someone who lives from outside the panopticon. Your panopticon gets attacked. There's different things that happen in the story. But I got to say, I was just really not invested in it at all. The first 2 hours of this game in particular are really hard to get through because of the way the pacing is. You see, you start a mission, you complete a mission, and after the mission, the game pretty much tells you to almost stop having fun. You just got to go and meet someone in one location, and then go meet maybe another person and talk to them in another location, and eventually it'll let you actually play a mission again and have some fun. Especially for the first 2 hours, this is really painful because you can't fast travel. So you have to walk between different locations that you need to get to. And you're not allowed to run that much either because there's different entitlements that you can purchase that basically let you do different things. Like you can run for, say, 10 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever. But early on in the game, you can't do much of that. So you leave your cell and it says, go meet this person in this location. So you have to walk over there. And then you go meet another person in another location. You have to walk over there. It's really painful for the first couple of hours. It does get better when you can fast travel, but I got to say, by that point, the story had completely lost me already, and I was just really frustrated with the game. I played it at launch as well, and the load times were really bad. It's around 30 seconds or so for the load screen. And when you've got this kind of period of, say, 20 minutes, when you're running between different locations, walking between different locations to go and talk to people, and you've got these 30-second load times, it becomes really, really frustrating. There has been a patch subsequently on the PS5. I assume it's been on other devices as well, which reduces the load time. So it's much better now, but it was really, really painful initially. Now, like I said, the story and the pacing, really not a fan of it. But the gameplay, I've really had a lot of fun with. I've really enjoyed that. You go into battle, you have an accessory that's kind of your partner, and you have 3 other people from the panopticon that you take into battle with you as well. You have 2 weapons to choose from, one melee weapon and one ranged weapon like a gun or rocket launcher or something. And you use those to take down the abductor. Now, I did find that on the PS5, the game is a lot easier than it was on the Vita. On the Vita, I really struggled kind of getting to some of the later chapters. So each chapter is based on you kind of qualifying for these different, completing these kind of different levels. So they're called codes. So kind of chapter 1 is like you completing code 1 and code 2, etc. And I remember on the Vita, I was really struggling when I got to, say, about code 4 or 5. And there were times that I would die. For the PS5 version, I've got to code 6 without dying, I think. I don't believe I died at all until I started getting to code 7. So I did find it easier. I don't know if that's because the game is easier or if I'm just kind of better at the game because I know what to do when it comes to these battles with abductors. But I did find it a lot easier than when I played on Vita. You can go online and do cooperation missions with others. So you can take some of the missions if you're struggling and play them with other people, which helps a lot because the computer-controlled characters that you take into battle with you aren't the best. So when you go into battle with other humans, it does get a lot easier, in my opinion. And you can actually meet people who are really upgraded in terms of their weapons as well, which also helps. in terms of weapon upgrading, or in terms of upgrading in general, it's not like an RPG where you upgrade your character, so you don't level up or anything like that, but you do level up your weapons. And to do that, you have to try and find certain items in the game by completing missions that allow you to then upgrade your weapons. Some of those items to find are quite difficult, and that's probably one of the areas of frustration as well, because you've got to go replay levels lots of times in the hope of getting some rare item that you need in order to upgrade your weapon. But like I said, I got my weapons to probably about levels 6 or 7, and I was pretty set in terms of getting all the way to code 7. Without having too much problems. But I did really like the gameplay of the game. You've got this thorn accessory that kind of lets you sort of whip item like a grapple hook as well, so you can whip it around the area where you're trying to fight the abductor. You can attach yourself to the abductor and take off one of their limbs, which is what you would then collect in order to help upgrade your weapon. So I really like those kind of aspects of the gameplay. On the Vita version, when you attach yourself to an abductor, you have to tap O or tap circle very, very quickly to try and take down their limb. You can do that here in the PS5 version, but there's also an option just to hold circle down. It takes longer to take the limb off, but it's much better. I just really hated the kind of tapping circle constantly. I always feel like you're just kind of wearing out the button if you're doing that too much. So I kind of appreciated that sort of quality of life improvement, that you can just hold circle down and it'll still take off the abductor's limb. But overall, I did really like the gameplay of this game. I like playing the game. I just really found it frustrating, the story and the pacing of the game. And I think that's what was going to make it a really hard sell for people. I think people who are fans of the Vita version, you'll probably still enjoy this quite a bit. But I just really hated that the game is just kind of stopping you from having fun so much and just forcing you to go through these cutscenes and these conversations, which just completely lost me. I just didn't care at all about some of the other characters in the game or what they had to say. I just wanted to play, and it really just prevented you from doing that until you've had these conversations, and then you can unlock the next mission to go play with. So yeah, very, very disappointing from that perspective. It's almost like I would give the gameplay like a 9, but I'd give the story and the pacing about a 4 out of 10. So probably this game would land around 7 out of 10 or so in terms of what I'd score it. It's good, but I think it is a tough sell for people. And so you just need to be aware that there is some frustration with how it's set out in terms of pacing. But in terms of compared to the Vita version, I am glad that this has got a remaster. I'd love to see other Vita games get remasters like Uncharted Golden Abyss, like Killzone Mercenary. So this is really great that we're seeing this. It just seems like maybe the sales of it haven't been super, super high. So I don't know what this means in terms of future Vita games getting remastered. I'd love to see Soul Sacrifice as well get a remaster, but we'll see if that happens. Anyway, guys, have you played Freedom Wars? What did you think of it? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.